Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fall Convocation 2020 at Spokane Community College. For those of you who don't know, I'm Kevin Brockbank, I'm the president here, and we're really excited about having an opportunity to start the year off the right way. As you all know, though, this is not a normal year, and so Convocation this year will be unlike any we've seen before. So myself, Vice President Martin, Vice President Cosby, and others have tried to come up with a way to give you an experience today that's energizing yet informative to start the year off. So as a start to the year, let's shift over to the vice presidents and allow them to give a chance to give you a welcome as well.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jenny Martin, Vice President of Instruction here at Spokane Community College. We have sure missed you this summer. We're glad that you're coming back to campus. We've missed our students, our faculty, and our staff. I hope you're ready. We're ready for you.
Good morning, SCC. This is Glenn Cosby, Vice President of Student Services. Welcome to those of you who have been away, and welcome to Fall Quarter, everyone. We're living through some very strange and challenging times, but I know we're up to those challenges, looking forward to facing them with you in the coming year, and looking forward to doing some innovative things around guided pathways, and really excited to be continuing our work with the best student services team in the state. So it's good to see you this morning. Hope you enjoy this convocation, which will go down as probably the weirdest one we ever have, but it'll be good.
I also want to recognize today that during parts of this video, we will not be wearing masks while speaking. We are keeping large distances between us during those times, and we're doing this in order to make sure that the video is coherent for everyone, including those of you who are assisted by reading lips. With that, I want to kind of talk about convocation for a moment. Myself, Vice President Cosby, Vice President Martin have talked extensively about what Convocation Day means to all of us. We all feel like the real value in this day today is the information sharing that happens, the collegiality, the re-energizing and refocusing ourselves on a new year, trying to get excited and fired up about the academic year in front of us. That's very difficult for us to do in this environment, but we're going to do our best today and try to be creative and fun about sharing those things with you in a way that's meaningful. One part of the introduction today is that we all realize that many of you have not been on campus since March. Many of us have, but things have changed and things have stayed the same. So we thought the best way to get started today was to take you on a tour at SCC, show you what's changed and show you what has stayed the same. So come with us.
Well, here we are in front of our new space in Building 1. Orlando's here, the bakery. I spent a lot of time here after May 5th when we were back on campus. I was one of the few folks back, bought a few too many maple bars, supported a few too many espressos. I need all of you to be back to see this beautiful space. I'm really excited to have you back to see it. We brought 36 instructional programs back after May 5th this spring. I'm so proud of the work of our faculty, the innovation, the work to support students through these trying times was amazing, and our students really were thankful for all of the effort, and I know there were so many faculty who were thankful as well. I also appreciated the fact being able to see the smiling faces through the mask or through the face shields, but knowing that we're helping our students achieve their goals. And that's what we do here at SCC, is to help our students achieve their educational goals. So I hope you can join me this fall at Orlando's or at the bakery. I can't be the only customer here.
Well, we'd hope to bring you some beautiful interior shots from Building 6 and the great remodeling that's being done over there, and multicultural student services and student government offices, but unfortunately the remodeling is kind of at that ugly phase. So instead we're over here doing an action shot in front of Building 15 where the action is. We've got folks working here face to face with students, serving them. Had that going since August 6th when the governor's Safe Start plan came out. So we have folks from admissions and registration, disability support services, financial aid, dual enrollment, workforce transitions, all working out of Building 15. We've got folks working over in Building 6, Building 16, and Building 1 as well, serving students. So we're excited about that and really excited to welcome them all back for Fall Quarter.
At the same time we're trying to highlight all the new things on campus, one of the things you're going to see because of these crazy times is some things haven't changed. For example, we're in Dean Henrikson's office right now, and they're still celebrating St. Patrick's Day. So new things on campus also include the ongoing construction. As we all know, we're continuing to do work towards getting ready for the north-south corridor to come through the west side of campus. And part of that has been the creation of the new parking lot over where our track used to be. Now, we know that that was a big loss for our college, but this is going to be a really important part to providing access for our students. Also, I wanted to bring you up to date on something we've been talking about for the last couple of years, which is the idea that we had a water leak on campus where we're losing thousands of gallons of water into the system. So as part of the construction for the new parking lot, we actually stumbled across the leak. This leak was costing SCC about $15,000 a month. So I'm going to show you. This was the break that we actually found. So a 6-inch pipe going for almost 2 years. And now that that's remedied, that should provide us some cost savings. Also included, what you're going to see this fall is a really exciting project for us, which is the new Multicultural Center in Building 6. We will have Building 19 being renovated to accommodate the fire science program. And then we'll have continuing conversations going forward about more changes because of the north-south corridor. Things are continuing to develop, and we're really looking forward to being able to take advantage of some of these new things. Also, as part of new construction, for those of you who have not seen it yet, Building 1 is spectacular. New bakery, culinary, classrooms, the salon, it's super. Also, as part of that, we think we have the longest hallway in the entire community college system. So the three of us decided there's got to be a way to use this to our advantage. So we have decided to executively sponsor corporate games every day of the week. And here's how it'll go. At Tuesdays at 2 o'clock, we're going to start with tackle football. On Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, we'll have putting contests. On Thursdays at 3, we'll have soccer shootouts. Send them the heater, Jenny. And every Friday at 12, we'll finish the week with chair races. Morning, everyone. Welcome. And welcome to the live version of our SCC Fall Convocation 2020. We hope you enjoyed the tour around campus this morning, and hopefully what we have in store with you will be equally entertaining. We've been lamenting all week the fact that we're not able to be together in the gym, celebrating collegiality and building the excitement around the year, but all these adjustments and disruptions also can lead to certain things that we've realized that disruptions lead to silver linings, and one of the things that we're able to do today is to have some special guests at our in-person audience. So let's take a minute to introduce some of those special guests, which each table is hosted by a member of executive leadership. So at table 1, we have our Chancellor, Dr. Christine Johnson, who is hosting AHE President Carla Nacarado Sinclair and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The conversation at this table this morning has been really, really interesting, as you can imagine. A lot of energy around this table. So let's go to table 2, where I'm hosting a few guests there, including Brenda Martinson, the leader of our classified staff union, as well as Skitch, and Skitch's +1, Chewbacca. And I'll ask Vice President Martin to introduce her table.
Good morning, everyone. So at my table, I have a few of my friends, Rachel Green and Ross Geller. Again, robust conversation. We still don't know if they're on a break or not.
Good morning, everyone. This is Glenn Cosby, and at table 4, we have Junior Leghorn. For those of you who are of a certain vintage, know he's very scholarly, and we've been having a very animated conversation this morning. To my left is Socrates, the great philosopher. However, he's been dead for over 2,000 years, so the conversation was a little less animated.
So with this celebrated and accomplished audience here, it really makes a lot of sense that the first thing we can lead into today is a celebration of all the accomplishments of our individuals on our SCC team. There's never enough time to mention everybody or to talk about all the great things we do, but today we're going to have a chance to recognize some individuals who have been selected and recognized for their special accomplishments, which will include the CCS Exceptional Faculty Awards, as well as our Outstanding Classified Staff Awards. And as a tradition, we usually ask the supervisors of those individuals to provide us with a few words about this individual, and we'll start with Dean Jeff Brown.
Thank you, President Brockbank. It's my privilege to recognize Marissa Bradbury. For those of you who do not know Marissa, she's a faculty and program director for our paralegal program and is much beloved by all her students and faculty colleagues. Under Marissa's leadership, the paralegal program is growing and meeting the needs of students and our community partners. So on behalf of the BHIT division and the Business and Legal Studies Department, I'd like to say congratulations, Marissa. This honor is well deserved.
Thanks, Dean Brown. Next, we will have Dean Dave Cox.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to academic year 2021. I have the great privilege of introducing Dave Edwards as our Exceptional Faculty Award winner from CCS Foundation. If you get a chance, swing by the corner of Building 1 where Dave's office and lab is and give him a high five, but do it quickly. Dave will be on a year sabbatical starting pretty quick now, reconnecting with industry, bringing back next year really good, current, state-of-the-art knowledge, skills, and abilities in architecture. Thank you all.
Thanks, Dean Cox. Next, we will have Associate Dean Conan Campbell.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Fall 2020. I've had an opportunity to work with the Counseling Services Program or Department for 4 years now, and have had an opportunity to work closely with and share a lot of conversations with Mr. Bill Rambo, our outstanding faculty counselor for the year. Bill, as many of you know, has been one of our more long-standing faculty members and counselors, working more so with allied health and the nursing program than perhaps other programs, but certainly has long been and will continue to be, no doubt, a strong advocate for student success and initiatives that help students be more successful than they might otherwise be, and offers great support for students looking for things that they can do to help their careers and education. And if you want to say hi to Bill, he's on campus today. He'll be here every day of the week. He's looking forward to seeing students and getting a good start to the year. So welcome back, and again, congratulations, Bill.
Thanks, Conan. Next, we'll have Dean Dr. J.L. Hendrickson.
Donna Ruboski has been an esteemed tenured faculty member in the Department of Allied Health and the Division of Health and Environmental Sciences for many years, and will continue to be so in her new role as an adjunct instructor. She already had a wealth of experience as a sonographer and then took the initiative to go on sabbatical a short while ago to learn more about updates in her field. It would be difficult to find a sonographer in the Inland Empire that hasn't felt the influence of Ms. Ruboski. Very recently, she went through the accreditation process for her program. The reviewers were so impressed that they granted accreditation for 10 years, which is the maximum amount of time possible and is not a common occurrence. The reviewers expressed their admiration for her program while on campus. Shortly after PeopleSoft was implemented at SCC, there was initial difficulty acclimating to the new requirements. At the same time, the division was short on staff. She saw a need, asked the administrative assistant how she might be able to help, and then proceeded joyfully to do that. She's also worked with the safety office to identify concerns in the department and was instrumental in helping to build and maintain safe working spaces. One student summarized nicely her style in stating that her mood and demeanor are always enjoyable and positive. She's always available for questions and to talk. In Kansas City, there's a wonderful barbecue restaurant called Gates. Whenever you walk in, it's customary for them to immediately greet you with, "Hi, may I help you?" In fact, you often hear it over and over again. That seems to epitomize the spirit of Ms. Roboski. Although it sounds silly, she's always interested in being helpful, continuing to work as adjunct faculty just as diligently and joyfully before her retirement as a tenured instructor. I'd like to wish her congratulations on her notable achievement. Clarissa Shear is beginning her 6th year at SCC. Since she arrived, she's been active on numerous committees in her department, division, and college. She served as the co-chair of the Workforce Development Core Theme Team for most of that time, and also serves on a subgroup of the Guided Pathways efforts. She also has the reputation for being dependable on search committees for nursing, environmental sciences, and allied health, as well as being on several tenure committees, including that of an organized and effective chair. She's also an active volunteer at local elementary schools. Students constantly praise her on her evaluations, often citing her as the best instructor they've ever had. Multiple faculty have commented on her expertise at using the online platform and have indicated they found various advice she provided to be most helpful. She's created a guidance course called Health Education 103 that has actually quadrupled in enrollment since its inception. Students in various programs in the health sciences have commented that they love the course and found their program choice because of one of the focuses of the course, that of introducing students to all of the career options in the health sciences. I'm sure she and the other health faculty would appreciate you advertising the course to students. A colleague at a previous occupation, an employer, shared a wonderful quote by someone named Charles Swindoll about attitude. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to do an internet search. Swindoll, S-W-I-N-D-O-L-L, attitude. The major gist is that the longer he lives, the more he realizes the impact of attitude on life, and that it's more important than the variety of other factors, such as appearance or what other people think or say or do. He concludes by stating that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. I think she would understand this quote well because students frequently comment on Ms. Shear's positive frame of mind and attitude. Congratulations to her on this notable achievement.
Thanks, Dean Henriksen. And for the Outstanding Classified Staff Award, we'll ask Dean Jacqueline Jaycott to come up.
Good morning. Paula Truman is this year's Outstanding Classified Employee at Spokane Community College. She's been with CCS for 22 years and has been with the Extended Learning Division for 14. The nominations that recommended Paula for this award display her exemplary skills and her qualities as an outstanding classified staff member. One person said, Paula has to manage a variety of complex relationships at all levels of operations and with a very diverse constituency of employees and management personnel. Somehow, she daily manages to not only this varied stakeholder community, but also with an ever-changing set of challenges that can affect the efficiency and vital operations of SCC programs. Despite these challenges, Paula consistently maintains a collaborative demeanor, always works hard at keeping relationships collegial, and always keeps in mind the greater goals and objectives of Spokane Community College. Paula has that rare skill of being able to get to the root of an issue, determine the best way to go forward, and then set expectations with those affected, all while being both personable and professional in the process. Congratulations, Paula.
Thanks, Dean Jaycott. So I also just want to mention again that all of our folks that were recognized here today are great employees who have done great things, but we all know that in order for them to do those things, they're surrounded by other great people. And I think SCC embodies that, is that we're surrounded by great people doing great things all the time, which make SCC what it is. So with that, the next part of our program is to ask our vice presidents to provide some comments on their sections. So we're going to start with self-proclaimed fastest vice president in the state, Vice President Martin.
So yes, that is self-proclaimed. There's no clock, there's no monitoring of that. So I guess you can say whatever you want to say on those things. So again, good morning, Spokane Community College. Welcome to the 2021 academic year. What a strange year. This is going to be a year of change and opportunity. No one could have predicted the abrupt stay-at-home order in March due to the pandemic and the move of all of our SCC classes online. For most colleges, a move to completely online may not be a big disruption, but for us, it was a very big disruption. Our faculty displayed tenacity and resiliency during this chaotic time. Our faculty fought. You fought for your students. You fought for your classes. You fought for your program. You fought for your colleagues. You fought for your college, and ultimately you fought for our Spokane community in the Eastern Washington region. Many of our faculty taught online for the very first time. Others were experienced and shared that experience willingly with their colleagues. You lecture captured, you Zoomed, you Microsoft Teamed, which I still can't really figure out, but you Microsoft Teamed. You built take-home kits, you checked out equipment, you innovated, and you persevered. Our students did too. Many of our students took an online class or program for the very first time. You supported these students with grace and understanding, and this resulted in great student success and completion this spring. I can't believe the amount of completion this spring, including our respiratory program with our first graduating class of BAS students. We learned many things along the way, and we will be able to take this innovation and these learning moments into future quarters. We're going to be a better college because of that. So we're back this fall. Welcome back again. 50% in person, 36% online, 11% hybrid, and the last 3% is a mix of flex and optional. I need to recognize people within our instructional division, so I'm going to take this division by division. So let's start with the Adult Basic Ed division. We're going alphabetical, no priority here, it's all alphabetical. I love all of our kids, I love all of our divisions. I need to recognize the work and leadership of Dean Fujita and Assistant Deans Stifler and Childress. The ABE division served more students in an innovative way than ever before, and moving online was a first for this division. We were able to serve students out of our Spokane region, out in the Eastern Washington region for the first time as well. Important services like PACE and SEER were finally available for people across our state and actually across our nation as needed. Through this, the AB division has developed many new course offerings and worked on learning outcomes through Zoom meetings. Usually a collaborative process where you're working in a room together. They did it via Zoom and some Microsoft Teams. Access has forever changed in adult basic education due to the innovation of our faculty and leadership of our administration. Amazing work, ABE. So arts and sciences. I want to recognize the leadership of Dean Cash James and Assistant Dean Sigismund. We have many veteran online instructors in this division, but I want to specifically recognize our science faculty who moved labs online for the first time and worked diligently on putting lab kits together to ship to students or even to have a curbside pickup for students. Enrollment is strong in arts and sciences and especially strong with our Running Start population. One area that was impacted greatly due to the shutdown was math placement and the closure of the testing center impacting math placement. Our math faculty immediately stepped up to support those students and serve those students doing guided placement. Just so innovative and such a leadership for folks across the state. We shared that statewide, and other colleges, I think, stole the model. Usually we're stealing from other folks. They stole from us on this one. This will change the way we do math placement forever as we have worked on revising the process as we recognize this is better for students. There was strong collaboration with our ABE division as well and our ABE faculty that resulted in a new math class for students that is now housed in the ABE division. Amazing work, arts and sciences. So BHIT, business, hospitality, and information technology. I want to recognize the leadership of Dean Brown. The culinary and baking faculty were leaders in the return to campus. As evidenced in the earlier video, I do acknowledge I had a few too many maple bars and espressos this year. They innovated with new service delivery options to serve customers and our students. Many of our BHIT faculty will be moving into new digs and classrooms in Building 1 with the renovation. They'll be able to use this beautiful setting with our new technology to even better serve our students. This division as well has been a leader in the flex modality and synchronous learning in the online environment. This has been even more important during the pandemic. Amazing work, BHIT. So extended learning, I want to recognize the leadership of Dean Jacob, and I also want to recognize our new Associate Dean of Corrections, Lori Valuers. Our corrections faculty were some of the first back in the classroom. They valiantly worked through some of not only the CCS safety requirements, but they also had to follow the Department of Corrections requirements. So 2 bosses here, they did it, and they got back to serving students. Our library team took the lead on the laptop checkout for our students. This had a huge impact on the lives of our students and their ability to be successful in the classroom this spring. Many of those students wouldn't have had an opportunity to take their classes if this would not have been available to them. This was a cross-campus effort. Folks from student services as well as instruction participated in this work. Such important work. Act 2 serves students from all across the country due to the move online. Who would have thought we were picking up folks of retirement age in Texas wanting to take classes from Spokane? Awesome work. Parent Ed saw, no surprise here to many of you, a greater demand for our homeschooling classes. This is an area of great growth due to the pandemic. Our rural faculty in the Extended Learning Division have been leaders in using technology and lecture capture for years, serving students throughout the entire region. Their experience proved important during the disruption. And finally, within this division, apprenticeship also adapted this spring with in-person, socially distanced programming. The workforce demand doesn't slow down, and the apprenticeship team understands this and embraced it with their innovation. Awesome work, Extended Learning. So health and environmental sciences. I want to recognize the leadership of Dr. Dean Henriksen and Dr. Dean Osler. We have stability in this division at the leadership level, and this is so important, particularly in this year. You may all remember, if you've been here for a while, the revolving door of deans in this division. We specifically had 12 deans in a 10-year period. Well, Dean Henriksen has been with us for 7 years now. I think that's the running record. We need that record to continue. The division faculty and administration continue to be involved in the Regional Health Services Roundtable. This division continues to impact the entire local healthcare community with this work and leadership. Leaders for the whole healthcare community at Spokane Community College. Amazing. Throughout the chaotic spring quarter, the programs continue to graduate students who continued their success on their national licensing exams. We didn't miss a beat. The faculty got in there supporting their students, and those licensing exams mean getting to work, and they made it happen. They supported their students. I also have to recognize Natural Resources, who was also forced to adapt to remain online throughout most of the spring quarter. Finding innovative ways to offer a chainsaw class was undoubtedly difficult for our faculty. But SCC faculty, they find a way. Amazing work, health and environmental sciences. So physical education and health. I want to welcome our new Dean of Physical Education, Dean Jim Fitzgerald. Welcome, welcome. Our athletic teams are delayed this fall, but it doesn't stop the important work of this department. Our fitness center is opening for students and staff, and we are working on details with the pool for the reopening for students and staff as well. This department may win for worst timing of offering a new course as they are developing a new program. Archery is not exactly the easiest course to teach online. Kudos for the faculty for finding a way to make it happen. Amazing work, PE and health. So last but not least, tech ed. I want to recognize Dean Cox and introduce Assistant Dean Ashley Purdon. Welcome, Ashley. This is likely the instructional division most disrupted by the stay-at-home order, as it had the fewest number of online or hybrid courses on the books. The faculty got after it and made it happen for their students using all kinds of innovation and actively participating in e-learning events to support the transition. This is the division that led the way coming back to campus, with every single department in that division returning spring quarter and every single department planning in-person instruction this fall. It's a lot of work, and you made it happen. Great work, Tech Ed. So wow, I can say with confidence, based on all of those achievements and what I see in the future, that we have the best instructional team in the state. And I'm gonna go as far as in the nation, and we can go even beyond that, I think, in the world. I must remind you all as well that this comes with some responsibility. It is an accreditation year, and we kind of forget about that as we've had this chaotic time. We host our evaluators October 14th through the 16th. Our visit this year is virtual, and I hope I can call in a favor this year. I need to call in a favor. Please, please, please participate in this virtual visit. We'll have a faculty forum, an opportunity for our faculty to participate. I'll be sending out that link. I also hope you will encourage your students to participate in this very important visit as well. A few last special things. I need to recognize the CCS safety team, specifically Saeed Husseini, CCS facilities, specifically John Gillette, Terry Ledger, and the custodial team. And I need to recognize the SCC centralized scheduling manager, Jeremy Johnson. Without them, we could not have returned to campus this spring, and for this fall, we could not offer over 600 classes on campus. From my office, I also want to recognize Alicia Preston, our curriculum specialist, who has supported faculty as they've transitioned learning outcomes, et cetera, through curriculum and preparing for this year. And finally, a very special thank you and acknowledgement of gratitude to my executive assistant, Lily Booth. She holds my office together with grace and strength. I look forward to all of you having a chance to meet her in person. You'll love her just like I do. So have a great year, SCC. We got this. Hashtag SCC Life.
Thanks, Vice President Martin. So next we will move to Vice President of Student Services, Dr. Glenn Cosby.
Well, good morning, everyone. Now I know what you're thinking. Let that sink in. All right, I want to talk a little bit about all the areas in student services and what's going on in them. It's been an exciting summer, and we're really looking forward to fall. The watchwords, I'm going to start with disability support services, and the watchwords for them are coordination, automation, and collaboration. What do I mean? Well, under coordination, due to COVID-19, DSS is identifying some creative ways to coordinate classroom accommodations in virtual, hybrid, and face-to-face classrooms. And to that end, DSS will continue to work with the e-learning team to enhance the structure of captioning and other DSS services. Under automation, DSS is working to automate some functions of the student process by developing webinars and information sessions that students may attend online rather than face-to-face. Under collaboration, DSS looks forward to continued collaboration with our colleagues at Spokane Falls Community College to identify best practices and seamless service delivery for DSS students across the district. Then DSS is led by the Director Amy Elber, and we appreciate all the work that she does on behalf of our students with disability. Now on to admissions and registration, led by Director Chantel Black, and financial aid, led by Director Tammy Zebel, both of whom are presidents of their respective councils at the state level this year, I'm very proud to say. The watchword here for both areas is new. Many things are new. First of all, a new online application. That's expected to, admissions application, which is expected to launch late fall. The focus of this new online application has been to increase accessibility by aligning with universal design principles, increasing functionality, and to make the application generally more user-friendly and easier for students to complete. A new CRM. Several staff members participated in the district-wide CRM work group. That's a client resource management software over the last year, and we're actively involved in the process for determining our CCS CRM vendor, which is TargetX. That was selected in August. We look forward to participating in its initial implementation this next year to enhance processes for onboarding students. Also new is math placement, and Vice President Martin talked about that. Our testing center staff will be working with the math department over the next few months to implement EdReady for math placement when a student is unable to place in math using their high school transcripts. It's an online system that uses a knowledge inventory to help determine appropriate math placements for students, and there's no cost involved to the student. New people. Admissions registration and financial aid have teamed up to hire 2 full-time customer service specialists. These positions will work closely with our students in Bigfoot Central in Building 15 to assist with admissions, registration, and financial aid processes all in one stop. Our goal is to create an atmosphere of friendliness and exceptional customer service to our students. Thus endeth page 1. And now a word from our sponsor, Johnson Masks, because after all, doesn't everyone like the smell of their own breath? All right, page 2. In student development, led by Conan Campbell, our Associate Dean, the key words are remodel, repast, and revision. What do I mean by remodel? Well, the Lair Student Center, home to student activities and workforce transitions, has recently welcomed adult education and extended learning to their new home, and soon will welcome global education as part of the remodeled and reimagined Multicultural Student Services Center. Repast, well, for fall quarter, the cafe and bistro will be closed, but Orlando's and the bakery will be open. So there will be repast available on campus through our wonderful culinary programs. And revision. We're looking forward to a new student conduct case management software, which we think will facilitate handling those cases and providing timely feedback. Northern counties ably led our 2 center managers, Rhonda Quant in Newport and Brian Moyer up in Colville. The key words here are access, address, process, and awareness. Access, they're helping make education accessible from home for the clients that they serve. Address, they're addressing student needs as well as maintaining safety for everyone involved. Process, they're simplifying student processes to reduce educational barriers and encourage student success. Awareness, we have a new special program coordinator in Newport, and she's going to help increase visibility in the community and increase awareness of various funding options for students. Dual enrollment, and several other areas now that are under the leadership of Dr. Lori Hunt. In dual enrollment, the key word is more. More students. Running Start numbers have increased substantially over the past year, with more families seeking alternatives to online education, and the soft launch of Running Start for Careers has increased AAS offerings to students that are ready to jump into professional technical paths while completing their high school requirements. More money. CCS Running Start recently received just under $90,000 in grant funds for a dual enrollment scholarship pilot program through WASAC to support Running Start students in their careers, WASAC being the Washington Student Achievement Council. More engagement. New student orientations and welcoming sessions have really engaged students and clearly laid out campus expectations to students and parents. Recently, 400 students attended Zoom webinars to connect with various representatives across campus to help champion their success. And more possibilities. Career technical education dual enrollment offerings have seen an increase. We've been able to assist students with previous CTE high school credits get some college credit under their belts to start. and we've been working to streamline documentation for college and high school programs while developing partnerships to support dual enrollment students. And in multicultural student services, the key word is renovate. Renovations are happening as we speak to provide more space and support for multicultural students at Spokane Community College. The new space in the Lair will be home to multicultural services, the Pride Center for our LGBTQ students, and also a new home for global ed. Stay tuned for more information on an open house in November, we hope. Passport orientations are happening, and we've been supporting close to 40 students in that program this fall. For outreach and campus visits, the key word is reach out. Outreach and campus visits has been evolving to find ways to engage prospective students in the enrollment process. Since COVID, we've been offering online outreach sessions. We've created YouTube videos to connect with students and even started a little bit on TikTok. So follow Skitch Squad for cool, short SCC videos. The most exciting news for them is also this acquisition of the CRM to help optimize the everyday workflow, better capturing prospective students in the enrollment pipeline. For workforce transitions, the key word is rock on, as in Metallica. Workforce and the Metallica grant folks have had a steady stream of students that we continue to support with federal and state funds. The team grew over the summer with the addition of workforce coordinators in the adult education division joining the on-campus team. To recap 2019-2020, we spent a little over $1.4 million on workforce students and are already on track to continue spending out funds in the current year. The Metallica grant is in its second year, and clips from our Student Success Day can be seen on the Metallica All Within My Hands website. Check it out and you'll see some familiar faces. For able-bodied adults without dependents grant, recruit referrals is the key word. Erin's had over 100 referrals for this grant. SCC has partnered with the Spokane Resource Center to house Erin's position, and it has been a great fit and an excellent source of referrals. And finally, Veteran Services, the key word, repay. Repay those who have served our country so well. We have the FET Trust Fund, which can help eligible students with tools, rent, car emergencies, certification testing after program completion, and so forth. We started with $50,000 in fall of 2018. In 2018-19, we awarded a little over $16,000. Last year, we awarded a little over $25,000, and in January of this year, the FET family donated another $25,000 to award student veterans, so we're very grateful to them. So our total Chapter 33 post 9/11 VA tuition that we received for last year, $946,000. And for academic year 2019 and 2020, we're averaging over 270 students per quarter using Veterans Administration education benefits. So we're very proud of the work being done in that area. And with that, I am finally done. You know what they say, executives, can't live with them. Dr. Brockbank.
Thanks for that thrilling intro, Dr. Cosby. I do want to take 1 second here to just recognize my appreciation for both of our vice presidents. We don't often do that because we spend a lot of time recognizing those who work with us across campus, but I do feel like we have the two best vice presidents in the state. I truly appreciate their dedication to SCC and our shared philosophy on how we run this place. I know we don't always get it right, but I'm pretty sure that the three of us get it right more than most. And so I really appreciate the working partners I have in being part of leadership at this college. So as we kind of transition to my comments, I'm going to mention one thing. It is our goal to have a few minutes at the end to potentially address some online questions. Jonathan Glover from the District Marketing Office is trying to monitor that on Facebook and YouTube. So if you have questions, try to put them out there, and we'll see if we can't get an opportunity to answer a few of those live as we go through this. So for me, as we go into this convocation speech, I find it actually very hard to believe this is the fourth year that I've been sitting up here delivering a convocation speech at SCC. And I do remember that when I delivered the first one, I was hoping that would be the hardest one and that things would get easier from there. And then 2020 happened, and I'm faced with, I think, probably the hardest convocation address that I'll have. Hopefully this will be the hardest one. It will just be easier from that point forward. And the reason I think it's hard is because, in my estimation, there are at least 6 challenges that we have in front of us, any one of which could fill up our bucket of challenges for the entire year by themselves. So those 6 things that I've identified are clearly the COVID pandemic. We will have historical budget reductions this year. Dr. Vice President Martin mentioned our accreditation visit, October 14th to the 16th, which is a huge high-stakes activity for us. I don't know if you know this, but they're also going to build a freeway through our campus in 2020 just to put a cherry on top of all the other disruptions. We have our major guided pathways effort around student success, and then our work around equity and specifically racial equity. So along with that, I could also spend the entire time I have dedicated to speak here about one of those topics, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to whip through all 6 of them, highlight, give cliff notes, point out the things we need to, with a promise for continued communication on each of those things as we go through the year, because each of those things will require it. But first, I want to go back to the very first year I gave a convocation speech to SCC, and every year I try to bring this up, is that during that first speech, I talked about some values that were important to me as a leader and I thought were important to our college to look at to be successful. And those are communication, teamwork and collaboration, trust, which is the most important to me, and then professionalism. And as we talk about these 6 things today, I think I in particular, need to rededicate myself to those things to make sure that we are able to work through these challenges this year, because it's going to be a hard year. So let's start off with COVID safety protocols. So this is actually the simplest thing on the list. And it's simple because of this. It boils down to this. Follow the protocols, wear a mask, do the attestation, social distance, and wash your hands. And we know it's that simple. It's because we have a track record and we have proof that those things work. Vice President Martin gave some great details about the success of that work this spring and summer. And, you know, we have over 100 days of instruction where we've had no COVID spread on campus. So we need to focus on that and remember something I mentioned earlier in the year. There will be 0 tolerance for intentional noncompliance to these protocols. And here's why. It's high stakes. Noncompliance can lead to the spread of the virus. And when you do that, it puts at risk student careers. It puts at risk employment of individuals at SCC. And that also puts at risk our greater Spokane community. So that's not going to be tolerated. So it looks like we have one question from the crowd over at table 1. So Dr. Johnson has a question about the protocols, and the answer to your question, Dr. Johnson, is yes. Carla's cardboard cutout is currently violating safety protocols, not wearing a mask. So what you should do is to identify that to Carla, offer her a mask, and if she refuses that, then you could call security on her, but based on the parking ticket she got last year, maybe that's up to you whether or not that's a good idea. So we need to all work together to promote these protocols moving forward, but I think we've got a great track record going for us there. The second thing I want to talk about is historical budget reductions. Like I said, there's a lot of detail provided here, and next week I'm going to provide the campus with a full detailed outline of what's happening, what we've done, and how we're addressing these issues. In summary, though, I will tell you that SCC is facing budget reductions in excess of $5 million. We've worked hard on that this summer, and I have to give all the credit to our vice presidents, deans, directors, and budget center managers on coming up with a plan that at this point we feel like we've addressed the initial challenge of addressing the budget reductions. We've done that through a lot of different methodologies. One of those is following the guiding principles for budgeting that were approved by the Fiscal Strategies Committee last year. And secondly, I want to mention the thing that I feel proud about is massive reduction in budget like that. We've done the best job we can to minimize the impact on our mission fulfillment at this college. So we're going to continue to work through that this year, because the other part of this that I think is really important for everybody to recognize is this is not a one-year activity. This is going to be a budget reduction and budget shortfall that will plague us for 3 years. And so our plans this year are about a 3-year plan, the immediate savings we have now, the things we've done to address that, and the things we'll be doing in subsequent years to realize savings going forward. I feel like despite the real challenge and the size of that budget reduction, we are in the best spot possible now, and I will, like I said, we'll give you far more details next week on that topic. Accreditation visit. Vice President Martin did a great job of kind of starting the energy around that. Accreditation visits are really important to a college because basically the reaffirmation of our accreditation makes us eligible for financial aid, other entities or other awards, and without that we simply can't operate. So the accreditation visit on October 14th to the 16th will be virtual, but it will be an evaluation by a team of our peers, presidents, vice presidents, deans, directors, and others from other colleges looking at how we do business at SCC and making sure that we live up to the standard that's set across our region. The important part for all of you is when you have an opportunity to participate, please do. That's a really important part of us for you to be able to show what you do at SCC, what you do for students, to brag on what you do, and to frankly to point out things that we could do better. That is part of the self-assessment. So this is high stakes. We want you to brag about SCC, and we'll be continuing to encourage you to attend those things as they get closer. We're less than 30 days away, so now's the time to start getting spooled up for that. The next topic is the North-South Corridor project. And like I said, up top of everything else, they're going to build a freeway through our campus, and that is going to escalate this year. One positive part of that project is it appears that this week we have reached a settlement agreement with Washington State Department of Transportation on a settlement amount pending a final approval by our board. So that takes one element out of the negotiations away and puts us in a position to start making final plans on how we adjust for this new reality. With COVID and other variables, there have been some changes to the plan, and shortly I will be taking some time to do some visiting with affected parties, and then we'll roll out a bigger plan on exactly what will happen on campus. But the immediate things are, as you saw in the video, we have a new parking lot over where our track used to be. That, unfortunately, will not be open the first week of classes, so we've done some work to push back fences and other places to make sure we have adequate parking, given the modality on campus. So I'm not concerned about parking the first week, but you realize that that parking lot will not be open. I did talk on the video also about discovering the water leak, which is a significant issue as we believe we're spending about $15,000 a month on that problem, not to mention the water conservation. And I have to give kudos to our facilities crew who worked tirelessly to find that leak, and in the process found all kinds of other leaks and have really tightened up our system. And to show you how effective that work was, last month our water bill was less than Spokane Falls Community College. Bigger campus, we had more people on campus, and we still ended up with a smaller water bill. So we've really done a lot to conserve water and bring down our costs in that area. Also, you'll notice on the west side of campus, a large portion of the parking lot that has chain link fence blocking it off. That's not the Department of Transportation taking that away permanently. They're moving utilities to get them out of the right of way so construction can continue. That will go away in the early part of October. And then after that, the next big thing that you'll see happen is in January, the Department of Transportation will start some demolition on campus, including the fire science building on the south side of campus. So we have a lot of things underway, a lot more things we can talk about going forward, but that project is absolutely going to start kicking up and going to be right there and visible for us this year. So next on the list is Guided Pathways. For those of you who are new, Guided Pathways is our major, primary, leading student success effort. I want to thank specifically the co-chairs of the steering committee, Gwen Cass-James and Jeffrey Bagwell, as well as the subgroup co-chairs, too many to name here, and all of you who participated in subgroups. Right when I thought we were hitting the apex of our energy around this effort was when the COVID hit and when it just kind of took the wind out of our sails. Yet those groups were able to finish recommendations in the work for the year and passed off to executive leadership a large list of really robust recommendations on how we can improve student success on our campus. We did take the time this summer to really thoughtfully go through those recommendations, and we unfortunately did that with the concept that there would be no money available to help support those. So we were trying to do that with a low to no cost approach. So we finished our recommendations and we're ready to pass those out. And then in the last 10 days, some things have changed at the legislature where money that was designated for us for guided pathways appears to be available. So we are currently reworking our recommendations and suggestions for action, which hopefully will be out early as next week and at late 2 weeks from now. So we have some great things there, some opportunities to spend money on student success. But I do want to mention this, and this is a very important part of our conversation going forward over the course of the year. I just talked a couple minutes ago about the fact that we have a $5 million budget reduction. And now I'm talking about guided pathways money, which could mean more than $1 million or up to $1.8 million in spending. So it's bad optics, and it's hard to understand across the campus when administration is making moves to reduce a budget on one side, and then in the same sentence are adding costs and spending money over here. You have to understand that those dollars and things are designated through legislative action, and we're held to those spending limitations. So that's going to be hard to watch and hard to explain, but keep in mind there's two different budgets that we work off of with that. So, and on guided pathways, I want to point out what I think is probably the largest success that we've discovered so far in our guided pathways work in the third year. When we started guided pathways work, and this was some of Title III as well, we identified that ABE held the demographics for the largest group of individuals that represented equity issues. And so we really put a lot into the effort around ABE transition from basic skills into college level coursework. When we started this, about 3 years ago, the transition rate from ABE to college level coursework was 14%. We put a lot of effort into it, a lot of planning. That's where Metallica Scholars lived and other initiatives. And today the transition rate is 28%. So we've doubled the number and rate of students transitioning from that program into career opportunities. And I think that's fantastic. I know that we don't think that 28% is the end goal. I think we initially talked about 50% as being our target, but changing a rate in higher ed by doubling it is into a transformational stage. So that's been incredible work also. So then let's switch over to the fact that Guided Pathways is an effort that, based on all the principles and also direction from the legislature, is an equity-based activity. And we'll talk about racial equity in particular. So throughout the summer, there's been a lot of social unrest in our country around racial equity and has impacted all corners of our society. During the summer, I have also communicated to the campus on multiple occasions some messages about Black Lives Matter, equity, and the role of SCC. I do know that not all of you have agreed with or supported some of the communications or direct messages I've put out as part of that effort. And I know that's true because some of you, or numerous individuals, have reached out to me to express some opposing viewpoints or different perspectives. I've spoken to each of those individuals, and this is an example of some of the difficult conversations I've mentioned as part of our communications. What I want to point out as part of these individual conversations is that in each case, what I've appreciated is the fact that the conversations have been respectful, collegial, and productive. Consequently, they were meaningful conversations. We didn't solve any problems or any social problems, but we got to a point where we were engaged in a respectful exchange of ideas and perspectives. And as we move into this school year, and the idea that there might be difficult conversations, it is my expectation that our conversations are all characterized by the idea that they are collegial and professional and respectful. Without that, we have no meaningful conversations, and there's just no way to move forward. There's far too little of that happening right now. Another thing I want to identify that came out of some of those conversations is I do admit that some of the things I've stated in communications are absolutely driven by my personal beliefs. I believe that Black Lives Matter. I believe there are racial biases in our systems, and I believe we have equity issues that we need to resolve. And a specific question that was given to me was, do I have to believe in, your stuff? And, it's not a term of your employment to believe and agree with me or support the ideas that I have. But what I think is important in this effort is that we do share some common principles. And for me, those things are this. I think we have to agree that all students deserve an equal chance to access and success in our academic offerings, as well as the careers that go along with those educational offerings. I think we have to agree that not all students are the same. And I think we have to agree that our current systems are not perfectly designed to ensure equity. And I'm going to give you a specific example that proves that here at SCC. So if you look at our completion rates at SCC for a student who's there for 150% of their program time, so if I enroll as a 2-year student, after 3 years, what's my probability that I've completed? Well, right now that number is 28%. So 28% of students, or if 100 students enter our institution, 28%, I'm okay, good. 28% of them are likely to complete, okay? I don't think anybody in their right mind thinks that's great or that that's a successful system. We work super hard, we're all well-intentioned, we do the best we can, but our number isn't super. If you look at that for historically underrepresented minorities, that number drops down from 28% to 21%. So it's even less successful. And here's what I would say about that. Some people would say, well, the system's broken. And I'm going to tell you the system's not broken. The system we've got is perfectly designed to create a 28% graduation rate every single year. So if the system isn't designed to move students through and help them be successful at a higher rate, we have room for improvement, and we have a need and we have a responsibility to make students more successful. I know that as an individually across this campus, people are dedicated to student success, and this is meaningful to them. So I'm going to ask the Diversity, Equity, and Global Awareness Committee to work with me on a work plan this year that starts with some policy revisions, instructional innovations, student services innovations, integrates guided pathways, and works with our multicultural services. This is a lot of work, it's complicated, but I hope that you'll all be strongly connected to this work with me going forward. So with that, that covers our 6 big major challenges. As I mentioned, they're all enough on their own to take up our full time. But with that, do we have questions, Jonathan? No questions. All right. All right, so there's no questions. So I do have a final comment then, just to kind of wrap things up. We've expressed it a couple times. This is going to be a hard year. When things get tough, what I would like you to do is to remember why you're here. And the simple one word is it's students. Find an opportunity to focus on the student work that makes this place so rewarding. All know that it's an incredible feeling to solve that problem for a student who is frustrated and defeated. They need to release a hold on a class. They need to get registered for a class. They need assistance with funding. Those things are really, really important, and they're really rewarding. That's what makes working here awesome. And as a former faculty member, I know that there's really nothing better than a great day in the classroom when students are engaged, they understand what you're talking about, and you can watch the learning happen. As we work forward and look at 2020 and what 2020 has left to offer us, you need to lean into that kind of work and realize this is a magical place and where students will always be there to keep you inspired. So with that, I hope you will stay on the feed when we sign off. We do have a presentation that highlights our new team members. It's a great way to see some unique things about our new colleagues. We look forward to seeing you on campus, either virtually or in person over the next few days. And I want to thank you for being part of the SCC team, and I hope you have a great year. Thanks, everybody.